Out. Allow recording. Okay. All right. Oh, I see Lori. Hold on. Making her a co-host. Co-host right there. All right. Okay. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. Yes, today I am old as fuck because I turned 50 today, and you get to celebrate my birthday with me. So the best part about this day, not only do I get to spend the whole day with my friends on Zoom, is we get to be talking about this new super cool tool called Fello. It's amazing. You're going to love it. I know I've tried to keep it a secret, but I'm terrible at secrets, as you all know. I just like to, share whatever's working. And I can tell you we've been using Fello for 30 days, and it is definitely working. It's actually working a little too much because we're a little overwhelmed. Who would like to be overwhelmed with sellers? Yeah. All right. So I had to actually bring people on my team to help work seller leads. So loving it so far. And I have Gus and Lori on the call, and they are going to be telling you all about it because they're a little better at explaining this than me. But I will tell you, I am loving it. And I think that Gus might even be sharing some of our stuff, right?
Yeah, yes, yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you'll like the numbers. So
Yeah, I
anyway,
love it.
I'm gonna let them take over. I will shut up and we'll talk about everything. Leave your questions for the end, and then they'll run through those as well.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thanks so much for having us. We appreciate it. Like Wendy mentioned, I'm Gus. I'm going to share my screen here and share through a few things, some slides that we have for y'all. Give me 1 second here.
Are y'all? Love it.
I'm in Texas, so I gotta bring out the y'all sometimes. But little bit about us guys. So just so you guys can kind of understand a little bit about where we are at and who we are. So myself, so before I was at Fello, I actually stood up and led one of the top teams in the country in EXP Mega Team over in Iowa. I helped scale that team from about 100 to 200 transactions to 700 to 800 transactions a year, securing about 30% market share in our market there. And I'd implemented Fello into our tech stack and saw what it was doing with our team and our agents and the impact that it was making. And now I'm here helping with the Fello journey. So I'm going to let Lori introduce herself as well here too.
So my name is Lori Papes, and I'm a success manager here at Fello, working with Wendy and her team, who are super fun to work with. I have been with Fello since day one, since before we were even a SaaS company. So been around the block a couple of times. So hopefully I have something good to share with you.
Love it. Well, a little bit about us guys. So, and why Fello exists. So, our founder and CEO, his name is Ryan Young. He owns and operates the Young team over in Cleveland, #1 team in Ohio, number 15 large team in the US. And the reason why this is important, guys, is this is a platform that's built by agents for agents. We aren't just a tech company making assumptions about what real estate agents want and need. We are in the trenches building this product and testing and proving these features with Ryan and his team before we roll them out to the rest of our platform. And we work with the best of the best agents and teams across the nation, and hopefully soon to be some of you guys as well. But the reason why Fello exists and kind of what we are, and in the interest of time, I won't cover this entire slide, but I want to hit on a few key points. And so in the light of this NAR settlement, how many of you guys, by a show of hands, are even now more interested in building and scaling your business with listings? Yeah. So now more than ever, listing agents will be in a driver's seat, right, from a commission standpoint, which puts you in the control of your profitability. And Lori and I work with top teams all over the country. We have over 11,000 agents on our platform. And the one thing that's consistent among them is they all build and scale their business through listings, not buyers. And if you focus on listings, the buyers will come. And so I'm sure many of you have tried to work with 10 buyers at one time, and that's not super fun. But does anyone want to take a guess what percentage, we can throw it in the chat, what percentage of your database will list their home in the next 12 months? Anybody? 50? 8%?
50%.
20%?
I want your database.
Yeah. 7%. Those are good. So as we've built Fello, guys, all great guesses. As we've built Fello, guys, what we've learned is that on average, 5% or more of your database will list their home every 12 months. And so think about that for a second. If you have 1,000 contacts in your database, that's 50 listings over the next 12 months that are sitting in your database. If you have 5,000 contacts, that's 100. If you have 20,000, that's 1,000, right? And so on and so forth. And so, some of you might be thinking, that number seems high. I'm not seeing that many. Well, what we also see is that 80% of your database is either a buyer or email only lead that don't have a home address attached to them. And so if you don't know where 80% of your database lives, how do we know whether they're listing their home or not? Right. And so that's where Fello comes in, and we can help uncover those homeowners in your database, even if they've come in as a buyer lead. And so after working with thousands of teams across the country, we know that to be the case. And whether you have 500 contacts or 500,000, Fello's going to help uncover 5% of that database looking to list over the next 12 months and help you convert those opportunities into listings. And so I'm curious, everybody kind of throw it in the chat there. Where are you guys all sitting? How many people do you guys have living in your database currently? 4,000. Love it. Great. Wendy's tossing in there with her 86,000. No big deal. Love it. Awesome. Well, guys, this is great. I think this is what a typical funnel looks like. And what we believe is not enough. Exactly, John. What we believe is that, you don't need more leads. You need to do more with the ones you have. And so this is the typical funnel that we see. And as agents and teams, we've become conditioned and addicted to buying leads, and more specifically, buyer leads. And buyer leads are great. They often provide instant gratification, and they require follow-up for a shorter period of time, right? But then they either transact or they don't. And then they're left sitting in that database, and they'll grow cold while you, kind of just eventually hope that they come back around to list with you, right? And so again, we know that 5% of that entire database will list, whether they're buyer or sellers. And so we want to make sure we're nurturing that entire database from a homeowner perspective. And so we have a proven strategy to nurture that database, uncover opportunities, help you grow for those of you that want to grow your database from a homeowner perspective. So we're going to share with you that strategy on how to turn your database into a 24/7 listing engine. And guys, the strategy that I'm going to walk you through today on these next couple of slides, you can do with or without Fello. We're just here to make it really, really easy for you. And not that I don't want you guys to be a part of the Fello family, but if you're interested in this strategy afterwards, we're going to put up a QR code at the end to schedule a full product demo. And we'll be we'll be available to answer any questions. But again, our number one goal here is to help you generate more listings and turn it into that database. So Fello can do all of this for you. And so how Fello operates is through this 3-part funnel that you're seeing here. First and foremost, we're going to focus on generate. And generating more leads is based on attaching addresses to your current buyer and email only leads. But also, for those of you who have newer or smaller databases, we have tools to make your lead acquisition stickier for sellers. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. But tactically, how we do this is day one, we're going to upload that database and start attaching those addresses that you may be missing. If you have a CRM, we will live on top of it as a bolt-on or like an X-ray through a two-way sync with almost all CRMs. We're going to help you capture more leads by helping you with things like improving your website conversion or using some of our QR codes or URLs and other capture tools to make sure that if you're spending money on lead acquisition or if you're driving traffic to your website, that you have the best chance to capture those as a seller lead. And so most of this traction historically, right, has been buyer lead traction going to an IDX feed. And if we're getting them there, we want to make sure that we're identifying who those sellers are as well and have a sticky journey for them along the way. So really quickly, I'm just going to show you what it looks like to live inside of the Fello platform. And what it looks like once we upload this here. So day one, like I mentioned, we're going to upload that into the Fello platform, and we're going to start attaching addresses to those contacts. And then we're going to show, pull in our own data here. We're going to pull in national mortgage, transaction, and public record data to give you price history, equity position, what their current interest rate is, or how long they've been in the home. We're also going to show you who the owner of public record is and who they last sold with and when. And then we're developing also a propensity score, or a likelihood to sell. And that's on a scale from 1 to 100, 100 being the most likely to transact within the next 6 months. Now, with that, what we're also going to show you, and this is probably one of my favorite parts of our platform, is we are going to show you every person in that database that's listing their home, whether that's with or without you. And this is with our real sellers report.
I really hate this report, by the way.
So this purple color that you guys see here on the screen is what's listing with other agents. And this peachy orange color is what's listing with you. So for example, in May, it looks like in the database that we're showing here, which does happen to be Wendy's, 62 transactions happened in that database alone, and one of them listed with them. So now what we can do, this is how we all get better together, right? What we can do is we can actually dive into the 61 that listed with other agents, and we can find out why and where did we potentially drop the ball. For example, it looks like, Lawrence entered into our, database in our dashboard that we're going to show you here in a second. And, what happened? Where did we potentially drop the ball? Or, maybe it looks like Lawrence listed with Denise, and that was his, sister, and we never had a shot at that listing anyways, right? But this still gives us a place where we can now start to tighten some things up and layer in accountability for ourselves, for our agents, whatever it might be. But that 5% statement that I mentioned, guys, may have seemed a little optimistic at the beginning, but this is where we're proving to the industry really quickly that you don't necessarily need more leads. You need to do more with the ones you have, because they are transacting in that database there. Now, going back to what I mentioned earlier, and what we were going to share as far as the different tools and things that we operate, the lead capture tools, and how we'll help some of you that are on here grow your database or improve your website conversion. Lori's going to go through a few things and strategies that we can use within our platform to help grow that and improve that conversion.
Where's my screen share? There it is. Sorry.
You're good.
A little different from Google Meet.
Welcome to my world when I go into our world.
We're unfortunately a little bit of the black sheep of the virtual meeting world industry. We're on Google Meets usually, so.
and no one knows how to use what we use, and then
Lori, do you want to share your screen? Because I can stop share Gus's.
Oh,
there we go.
Am I not sharing? I thought I was sharing.
Now you are. Yeah.
Okay, so you can see your account?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. We were on building the database. Is that right, Gus?
Yes, we were going to show some different ways that we can improve their website conversion through some lead capture tools and things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Under the marketing tab here, we do have the ability to do landing pages, and depending on the different plans that you have, which is basically decided on by the number of contacts that you have. So you can get 3, 5, or 3, 5, or unlimited landing pages that would come with your account. And then the way you can use them at the account level, you are limited potentially depending on that. So if you are doing any, like Wendy has it set up, we've got everything on her website. So as people are going into her website, they are being driven into Fello landing pages that look like this. So people are entering in an address, and then they are being driven. As soon as that address is entered, it's being captured. So even if they don't complete the rest of that journey, Wendy can retarget them through postcard automations or something like that. So, and Wendy's account has unlimited access to these. So if you're doing newsletters, your email signatures, social media posts, open house flyers, I'm missing one. There's 5 right off the top of my head, and today it's only 4. But anytime you're doing any marketing strategy, any PPC, you can always add, if it's print, a Fello QR code, or if it's digital, a Fello URL link that'll help drive people into this journey. And then if you are, for example, independent agents, or you have agents on their on your team that want to just build their specific database, they have the ability to create their own personalized ones. So at the account level, the leads can come in and then be distributed. Or if the agents want to create their own open house flyers, which is what we did for Wendy last time we met. So for Wendy, we're going to go do an open house this weekend, for example, she could slap this QR code on that open house flyer. And then anytime somebody scans that code, any of those buyers that are coming through that house, they scan that code, and that lead's going to be automatically driven directly into Wendy's account because that is Wendy's code. Questions?
Love it.
Right. I like that all my agents are able to do their own, you know, put their own on their website, put their own on their postcards, you know, and the emails that go out has their information, not mine. So even though, even though I'm
I
a
was
team
just gonna,
leader, I love that
right.
their face and info is getting out there.
Exactly. And one thing I do want to point out with that too, guys, because of the way that our capture tools are structured, typically what you see with capture tools in real estate is name, phone number, email, right? But typically what happens is we don't have the ability to capture them as a homeowner. And so as we're building our database, it's hard for us to then go back and start to, hey, are you a homeowner? But because of the way that our landing pages and tools are structured, we're starting with homeowners, and even if they don't finish. So I'll just point out really quickly, let's say someone were to drop off from that journey, we still have all of that data that I mentioned, price history, equity position, who the owner of public record is, who they last sold with, to help create some intentionality around building that database as well. And so going back to our funnel here, guys, how we operate kind of in the next piece here is going to be through that nurture strategy in the middle here. What we're going to do is we're going to nurture that entire database, everyone in that database, but we believe truly in the right message to the right person at the right time. And we all know it's not a one size fits all with sellers. It's got to be a one-to-one about their home and their equity position, their financial situation, and where they are in their own seller journey. And, you know, like I mentioned earlier, you know, buyer leads are instant gratification, whereas seller leads may take 6 months, a year, 2, 3, 4 years of nurturing. It's before they're ready to list that home with you. And so what strategies do we have in place in our database running on automation to make sure that they list with you down the road, but that we're also providing them the right messaging along the way? And so how we do that, guys, is we mass email to that entire database. And we, like I mentioned, we mass emailing, but the messaging is going to be tailored one-to-one to that seller. And we can even do things like, you know, if someone's been in that home for more than 10 plus years and they've got a square footage of 3,000 plus, but maybe we put messaging about downsizing in front of them, that's going to be very different messaging versus someone who has maybe recently expired on the MLS with another agent, right? Or versus someone who has a home value in the multi-millions. We want to talk to them about the luxury listing options that we have. And then we also, like Lori mentioned, layer direct mail on top of that. But we don't believe in marketing to sellers en masse. So we use MLS, public record, and national mortgage data to understand where is that lower hanging fruit or where is that opportunity, and let's spend on direct mail in a very responsible and intentional way. So for those of you that are doing direct mail or wanting to get into direct mail, that's definitely an option. And we have some really great strategies in place that we can talk through on the demo there. But with that, I am going to show you a little bit of what it looks like to live inside the nurturing side of things. So day one, what we're going to do is we are going to enroll all of your contacts into a home value focused email campaign that looks a little something like this. Now, this is going to be a few points I like to make about this. This is all going to be white labeled and branded to you and your brand. You can notice here. No one knows who Fello is. No one cares. We want this coming from our name and face, the agent that's built that database that they know, like, and trust. And so a few points I also like to make is this is all going to be sent from our servers branded to you. And so we're protecting your domain integrity. And if someone were to unsubscribe from this, they're unsubscribing from Fello, not from you. Now, with that, this home value focused email, we're not just limiting ourselves to those, leads that we have in our database that are seller leads that have home addresses. Other tools within the industry limit us to only having a home address to be able to send them an email. We don't limit you there. If they don't have an address listed, so for those buyer and email only leads, we're still going to send them an email. It's just going to be something a little bit more ambiguous. It's just going to say your home. And what happens here is they land into, when they click on this see my home, they land into what I like to call our spider web. And they see something that looks a little bit like this. And we're going to confirm their address, whether we have it or not. And then through that two-way integration with your CRM, we're updating that address for you. So organically and on autopilot, we're updating and building you this database of homeowners and identifying them within there. And we're landing them then into what we call our customized dashboards, which look a little something like this. Now, I'm going to just pull up an example of one here from Wendy's account. But what it looks like is, again, all white labeled and branded to you and your brand. That's where we're going to see that home estimate that we've promised. It's where we're going to see all of this different content that we can build out to show your value to your prospects and to those sellers. Now, one thing I think is important to point out here is about the home estimates that we're looking at. So you'll notice that we don't lump the values that we're showing into one value. We show the different models of the data that we pull from to remove the perception that there's just one value that our agent is recommending, right? We know that those AVMs aren't always the most accurate, but we want to keep the idea that your agent and getting in touch with them is going to be your best way to get a complete property value within the market, right? And so we really want to make sure that we're diving in here and showing them that value. But like I mentioned, we can nurture them from a one-to-one strategy. And so I'll show you an example from our founder. Ryan does a cash offer program with his team, but he doesn't purchase anything over $750. So you'll notice on this dashboard in specific, anything under $750 sees cash offer focused language, a video about a cash offer, that type of call to action. Anything that comes in over that would be considered luxury, and they see luxury focused language and more luxury focused call to actions. And so we're really tailoring that dashboard to that right message to the right person at the right time. And so we're able to do that, as well as build out different automations to start really targeting these, I guess, prospects and sellers from a really intentional level through some of our smart content that we're releasing here in the next few weeks. So we're going to be able to layer in the big data that I mentioned, the national mortgage transaction public record data, and we're going to pair it with their behavioral data. So whether it's what they're clicking on, what their frequency of being in the dashboards is, and really hyper target them from an approach of email and direct mail and dive in. Our founder, Ryan, actually just did a test with his team yesterday. He took 1,900 of his contacts in his database and hyper targeted them through our smart content with a cash offer call to action. And in 9 hours, he had 33 cash offer leads raising their hand, wanting a cash offer out of his database. And so we're really going to be changing the game there, and would be happy to walk you through what that looks like on that side of things. But the next piece, kind of the bottom of the funnel, guys, here is going to be that data piece that I mentioned. And so what we're going to do is we're really going to dive in here and show you what's converting in that database and create some visibility into how you're converting that database, whether that's with or without you, which is a little bit of a gut punch, but like I mentioned, that's the kind of the only way that we can get better together. And so we're going to develop some predictability and some insights around who's getting ready to list. Kind of, if not sure if you, like I mentioned, if you caught the propensity scoring that I mentioned earlier, as well as some different filters and segmentations that Lori's going to show you here, for example, on how we can create some intentionality around converting those sellers. So day one, on your first launch call with your CSM like Lori, we're going to show you in that database that you have today how much of that 5% is falling through the cracks. And then we're going to set a goal for where we want to be in the future, and every month that you're with Fello, to make sure that we're on pace for those goals, and that we're capturing more and more of those listings that you've purchased and paid for and spent time, money, energy, resources building, and making sure that they're listing with you. So Lori, I'll let you dive into the segmentation and the filters to help create some intentionality there.
Yeah, for sure. Can you see my screen okay? Yes?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm like, I can only see like 4 people. So, all right. So some of the filters that we have set up within Wendy's account, and basically we can create filters and then we save them as segments so that you don't have to go in and recreate these filters every time. So like Gus was saying, trying to find that 5%, who are the people that you could call? And in looking at Wendy's, her home value leads, she's got 114 home value leads, right? Of the 114 that she could call, who should she call? So there's a couple of different ways that we can go about doing that. One of them is people who are active on their dashboard, right? So they come in as a home value lead, which is a form submission. So you can see that anyone who has submitted a form has become a lead at least once, but then they've come back again, over and over again, right? And then the more time you spend on the platform, then you can start to raise this number up there. I mean, I've seen people who have clicked 40, 50 times on their dashboards. It's a really good indicator that somebody's thinking about moving if they're coming back over and over and over again. So we have that filter set up. So she's got 12 people that are sitting in here. As they're going through the Fello journey, we are asking them, especially on the seller journey, when is it that you think you might want to sell? Is it, ASAP? Is it 0 to 3 months? Is it 6 to 12 months? Whatever. What's the, so we want to make sure we're capturing these people. Sorry, we're here on my filters that and answered that question. Anything less than 6 months, we want to know about it. We also want to make sure they're not currently listed on the market. And Gus was talking about the real seller reporting, people who are listing in your database, whether it's with you or without you. So we know they want to sell within 6 months, and we also know that they haven't already listed yet. And that, again, another group of people, there's 2 of them here that we can focus in on. And then the third one that we have set up for her are those people who are financially positioned to sell. And this is kind of alluding to what, like Gus said, we're working on our propensity score. We do have a propensity score. Doesn't work necessarily great in every single market, but there is an alternative way to find it, which is to look and see, like Gus was saying earlier, how long have they been in the home? Wendy's is set up for 5 years. They have more than 50% equity in their home. And they've also submitted a form. So I'm layering in that human behavior in addition to looking at the public records to see who are these people that are most likely to sell. So that's 3, that's just 3 filters that we have set up for her. There's some other things that you can do in here as well in terms of like drumming up some additional business. Let's say that you took a listing that was in Las Vegas. You took this listing on Wandering Street. So you could start setting up filters that say the city is Las Vegas, or the zip code if you prefer. And then the AVM, like your buyers are looking to buy between 300 and 500,000 or whatever that number would be, minimum number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, how old the home is, all those different variables that are all public record information. And the more addresses we have, the better we can find this information. So you can build that filter out to match your buyer's criteria. And then you can find people in your database. We'll just pretend this was the results of our filtering. You've got 20 people in your database that you could call on behalf of that buyer. We have some scripting that we recommend that we'll share with you. But the third question of that scripting is one you can use in this instance that says, hey, I've got a really off the wall question for you. If you had the opportunity to sell your home, even if it was off market and it made financial sense, would you be open to an offer? Because I've got buyers who want a home like yours. And then you can start to work some deals that way. Same thing. Sorry, I think I started off on listings and then converted to buyers. But if you had a listing, you could circle prospect the same way that you could for the buyer. And then you reach out with that same question. If it's off market and it makes financial sense, are you open to a conversation? And try to start to work some of your deals that way, and just basically generating new business within your database.
Love it. Yeah, and one thing I wanted to show too that I've been pointing out recently on demos that I think that is a huge value add now. Obviously we're on the shores of this NAR lawsuit, guys, and now us as agents, we're gonna have to figure out how to articulate our value to buyers, right? And so what can Fello do from the buy side perspective? Well, I'll show you. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I know that there's not much on the market in your criteria, but the cool thing about me is I actually invest in a tool that builds me a database of homeowners month after month. And so let's go find your square footage and bed bath count in that neighborhood that I know that you guys love. And we'll sort that list by people who have an equity position or an interest rate that positions them likely to entertain an off-market opportunity. And so that's an important piece too that I wanted to kind of point out. We can sort by maps here, and as we continue to build out our platform, and I know it's on the roadmap right now for our product team to build out a farming option. So for those of you that mentioned in the chat earlier that I want to grow my database, this is a perfect opportunity for you to get everything set up and build out this database of homeowners as we get into that type of the world that we're going to be living in here shortly. But again, this is a great opportunity for a value prop from the buy side perspective as well. So I just wanted to point that out. But the last thing, guys, just to share really quickly, I'll end with this before we wrap up for questions. But at Fello, again, our number one belief is that the winning agents and teams of the future will have transformed their databases into assets that are consistently generating listings. And so we no longer feel that you need to be married to constantly buying new leads when we know that 5% of that database you already have is going to be listing their home every 12 months. And if you think about your database today, June 25th, Wendy's birthday, all of those leads that were new that you have right now were new at 1.2. So what are you going to do to automate and nurture and convert them moving forward? And so I know we're got about 10 minutes left here. We wanted to wrap it up at the 45 mark. So kind of leave it open for some questions in the chat. If anybody else wanted to add anything.
I just want to say something real quick, because we're just kind of blown away by, we have a ton of buyers, right? Because I run listing ads, right? Because we have a ton of listings. So we run ads for buyers for my team. And they literally are just name, email, and phone number in our systems. And this fellow is emailing to them and saying, would you like to know what your home is worth, or whatever the hell it says, but it works. And they're literally clicking the button and filling out their address. And now it goes right into our database. So Fello is linked very nicely with Follow Up Boss. I know not everybody has Follow Up Boss, but I do, and I love it so much. So, and my problem was, well, not only that 67 people listed without me, whatever. It was because I have 86,000 leads in my database, and I can only email 200 at a time, right? So I don't go to Google jail. Fello is literally sending out 2,500, 3,200 emails a day. and I'm not in jail. And they're actually clicking on them and they're filling the information out. So yeah, for those of you guys who use HomeBot, this is HomeBot on freaking steroids. Steroids. Like, it is way better. HomeBot doesn't reach out to your buyers inside your database. It doesn't reach out to your sellers and touch them 24 times a year, right? They're getting touched 24 times a year. How many people are touching their whole entire database 24 times a year? With good stuff. With good stuff, not a freaking postcard telling them how to make banana bread. Like, this is good stuff. People love stats. And we did notice that the Fello value was a little low across the board. They have a really cool tool that allows you to up it to where what you think, because we were running comps the same time Fello was giving values. Right. So I want to make sure my people are getting the best information ever. Right. So we realized it was about 8% low across the board. So we were able to just put a little 8 there. And now everybody's stuff went up 8%. So you could do that like in one swoop. Yep. By putting a little number there. So I'm just telling you that, like, the buyers raising their hand and giving out their address, that is gold, right? Because obviously someone's going to need to sell in order to buy. A lot of people do. And guess what? That's 2 deals. That's 2 deals for you. So anyway, I just want to let you guys know that it's gold.
Love it. Well, thank you for being such a good fan and proponent of Fello, Wendy. We appreciate it. I see a few people asking questions about the cost. So our pricing is based on number of contacts that you have in your database. So I'm going to put up a QR code here shortly for you guys to schedule a full demo and walkthrough of pricing and onboarding and what that looks like for the next steps here. But while I kind of have that up, does anybody else have any questions in particular about the platform? Any other, burning questions or anything in specific that while you have Lori and I
have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just signed up with a direct mail company and I committed to them for a year. And with them, I get a landing page, right? But it's 12 postcards per year. I'm thinking about how can I use that and Fello, right? Because I don't have those names in my CRM yet, but I guess I could just upload them, right? Have you come across that? How do you, because I have a landing page that they go to, and then I feel like if I did something like this and they got a different landing page, is it confusing to them? Is it?
Yes. Can you change the QR code on what you have going out?
No, because that's part of the service that the company that I'm using offers. So they create the landing page, they capture the leads, and then I get the information there. But I wish I would have known about this sooner. Okay.
Angela,
Lori,
can I assume that you cannot redirect their landing page to Fellows? Is that not an option?
I have no access to any of their back-end stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about that and I don't have access to it. So I'm trying to think about, because I like this, I like all the touches, how it could work. And I just don't know right now. So
yeah, right. I was afraid of that too, because we did have 2,500 people in HomeBot. So I have turned off HomeBot. I don't want them getting 2 reports, because it is confusing. So we solely just stuck with using Fello. They have a direct link. And then also when I run my street text ads, instead of having them go to that home value page, they're going to this home value page. So and that's working really good too. So not only are they working the 86,000, but I am a lead generator. So they're working all the new stuff too.
Adrienne, it looks like you have a question.
That was me.
Adrienne?
I think you might be on mute.
She is. I asked her to unmute.
Okay, yeah. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm on my phone today. So my question is, when we signed up for HomeBot, it was a shared platform with our lenders. Is that a possibility with Fellow?
It is. Yep. Yep. The short of the answer is yes. A little bit of a longer answer, roundabout answer. As of right now, the only ability that we have to split with lenders is on our one-time fees. We don't have the ability to split recurring charges. And so if you pay upfront annually, you get a little bit of a discount as well as our onboarding fee. And so you're able to split those, but I'm happy to dive in onto what the capabilities of that with your lender would be moving forward. So
Okay,
short answer
thank
is
you.
yes, Adrian. Yep, you got it.
Thank you.
Deanna?
Yeah, so my question is a little bit for both of you. I think, Wendy, what are you having to focus heavily on both platforms, Follow Up Boss and Fellow, or are you able to track everything that's happening in Follow Up Boss?
Yeah, everything is right there in Follow Up Boss, which is super cool. So we can see, where they came from, what they clicked on, all the notes are in there. The only thing is that I really like to go into Fellow also to look at the report, see what they're looking at, that way I can, but the value, everything does go through Follow Up Boss. So you literally don't have to go in there, but I like it. I like the search function of it. And, being able to sort through everything that I want to sort through. So I could, I'm trying to hit that luxury market, right? So I can search from, the highest price, of what they have, and then the highest propensity, and then, what's not on the market. Like I can do so many different little searches there to figure out who I want to reach out to, call, or send a luxury book to.
So we currently have a direct integration with Follow Up Boss. And so everything else all of the other CRMs that we integrate with are typically through Zapier or RealSync, but we have a Rockstar Solutions team that has worked through all of the, kinks and bugs, and they are able to set up some really, really great two-way integrations with almost all platforms. So for those of you that aren't using Follow Up Boss, have no fear. We'll be able to make sure that you have everything set up and we're sending information back and forth in the best way possible. But yes, for sure. Bonnie, did you have a question? I think you might be right.
I do. So, and that was following up because I've got KB Core and I've got Go High Level.
Okay. Yep. We can integrate with both of those. Yep.
Happy birthday
to you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dad.
Crystal, what you got for me? Oh.
Hi. So thanks for the demo. How often do you send out emails, or do you do mass text messaging? And then I thought you said luxury, you put it off at like a price point with the home value. Is that how you differentiate what emails are going out, or how many different styles emails do you put out, I guess, to keep it fresh and
great question. Yeah, so our recommended cadence for the emails is every 15 days. We'll probably send out 15 million emails this month across our platform, and so we're constantly A/B testing cadences and how often we should send. And so that's our recommended cadence. You don't have to send it out every 15 days. That's just what we recommend for the best, deliverability and click through. Now, as far as the content that we're sending and the price point, absolutely, that's an option. It doesn't have to be just price point. It can be price point. It can be a neighborhood. It can be a certain zip code. We can differentiate messaging for people that have an assumable loan and a VA or an FHA loan. Like the possibilities are really endless as far as the different messaging that we're sending out to people as well. So it's a pretty robust option. There's a ton of options, I guess. I should say, to answer the question.
What I was trying to do is filter out, so you have a bunch of buyer leads. Is there a way to figure out if people are renting or owning, and then target renters? Hey, stop paying. So I guess you said the possibilities are endless. Are you customizing messages? Or
Yeah. So, yep. So anything that we're doing, like we're identifying the homeowners within that database. So we'll be able to really hone in on like, if they're identifying that they're a homeowner and they're, considered in a luxury price point and they're in a certain neighborhood that you want to market to specifically, we can do that. Same thing goes, for renters, candidly, if they're renting, most likely probably not going to interact with a home value tool. But if they do, we'll be able to kind of help differentiate that and sort that out during the process of onboarding and sorting through your database.
Right. And the main function of this is to pull sellers out for you. Right. So
Correct.
So yeah, this is not a, a renter, program or even a buyer program, but you can use it for buyers because I love,
Yes.
and I've been trying to, so we put tags in all of our follow-up bots on everything that we touch. When we figure out what their house is, we're putting in the bedrooms, the baths, the square footage, does have a pool, single story, blah, 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 right? We put in all the things so we could try to reverse prospect for our buyers. Now we don't even have to do that. They're literally pulling all this from the tax record, and you can do a search for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage in A9015, and pull up a list of everybody that's in your database and go after those off market and say, hey, we have a buyer that's looking for a house just like yours in your area in this price point. So would you be open to, an off market offer? So I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think circle prospecting is like the way that's a kind of a good way to do it right now. So, okay, that's really cool. Thank you.
Love it. Well, is the QR code still up there too, Wendy?
The QR code is still up
Okay.
here. Jackie, do you have a question? Real quick.
Yeah. How does your customer service work?
Yeah. So you get a rock star just like Lori. So with all of our accounts, anytime you formalize an account with us, you have a dedicated success team, solution engineer and success manager, just like Lori. Your solution engineer will handle all of the tech setup and build out all of that fancy stuff that they are way smarter than I am to get all of that looped in. And then Lori and all of our rock star, our founder, Ryan, has invested very heavily in our onboarding, our success team, because we have built platforms and CRMs and websites and all of this before. And we know that a lot of times you're just left hanging after onboarding. Not the case with us. They'll be with you for your lifetime of your relationship, right by your side to ensure you're getting results month after month. And I don't know, Laura, if you want to elaborate a little bit on what that relationship looks like post.
Yeah, I mean, and just as an example with Wendy, I mean, you've been on the platform for a month and we've met, this is our 3rd time. And that's just like Gus said, you will have a dedicated solutions expert to the tech setup. And then you have a dedicated success manager that will work with you to help you work through these filters, build these filters with you, teach you things. We are here with you for the duration of your time on the platform.
Right. On the phone and emails, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, and via Zoom. So yeah, you could book meetings and then just hop right in and show you the things. So yeah, I really like being able to do that. So
thank you. That's great.
Well, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time left. I know we were a little bit over. Sorry about that, Wendy.
You're okay.
First and foremost, happy birthday and thank you for having us on, sharing a little bit of this with us today. But I'm going to leave the QR code up for just a few more minutes and I'll leave it here. And Wendy has a link to my demo calendar to go through the platform. I will tell you guys, we are running, I did go to bat for some promotions for the Tech Tuesday. So we have 3 different plans: professional, team, and business. Our team and business plan have an onboarding fee of $14.99, of $1,500 to get set up. With the Tech Tuesday promotion, we're running $1,000 off. So that's to get everything set up and formalized through the end of the month. So get set up this week, and then $8.99 off of the professional plan. So to get started for only $100 on the professional, $500 on the team and business. So definitely scan that or ask Wendy and her team for a link to my calendar. Would love to have you guys join the Fello community and start generating some more listings. So thank you again for having us.
Yeah, I just put it in the chat too, just in case you guys want to click there. I think it's going to the same place as the QR code, but yeah, as long as you get signed up before the end of the month, you save $1,000, right? Doesn't everybody like?
And we have some. And for those of you that are like, that sounds like a lot, signed up doesn't necessarily mean, getting everything started. We can delay, different billings and things like that to help buy you some time. We need to get that account formalized. So we'll chat through all that in the coming week here. So, but we appreciate you guys, and let us know if you have any other questions.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you. I love having good stuff on this call. Couple things before you guys leave. Okay. Next month is CRM month, right? So we are going to be doing a deep dive into CRMs every Tuesday, starting with Follow Up Boss, then KV Core, Lofty, Street Text. Yes, it's a CRM, and Fello. So we're going to have another Fello, little deeper dive into the CRM portion of it, like how you can use it, and all that good stuff. And then we are adding in Tech Tuesday accountability calls, right? So I've been running an accountability call for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, and it really works. So I think that not only do you need to show up to these meetings to learn new stuff, but you actually need to do the things, right? So we are opening up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and it's every day, Monday through Friday. You're going to hop on one time. You're going to state 2 things that you want to get done that day to move your life forward. One can be business, one can be personal, both can be personal, both can be business, but hopefully it's business, right? Because that's going to move your bank account forward. Anyway, and then you're going to hop on the same time the next day and state whether you got them done or not. So Joanne's going to post those times there. They are also pinned in our group. So if you go to Tech Tuesday with Wendy, you will be able to see the pinned post at the top with all the times. But we are starting 6:45 a.m. These are PST. So wherever you are in the world, 7:15 a.m., 7:45, 8:45, 9:15, and 10 a.m. So lots of different times to choose from. Just pick one that's good for you and put it in your calendar every day, Monday through Friday. The Zoom link is going to be commit or quit zoom.com. So that's the name of the accountability call, commit or quit, right? Because we are either going to commit to doing the thing or you need to go get a different job. I mean, and I know that sounds harsh, but it's so true right now. I know a lot of people going to get other jobs because they're not committing to do the things. They're not doing the things.
Yeah.
Right? We need to do the things if we want to keep going in this business. So super excited about that. So we have a great month of July coming up, and then we have accountability calls. So hopefully we'll get to see you every day, Monday through Friday, not just Tuesday. And then book a call with Gus, because I mean, it's a free call. You just figure it out. And the cool thing is that just because I have 86,000 leads in my database, doesn't mean it's just perfect for me. Yes, it is perfect for teams. I know Dan Beer uses it, and a couple other, big team leaders, they use it. And I learned about it in my luxury mastermind when they said, what is a system that you cannot live without? Like 5 people said Fello. And I was like, I don't even know what this is. I read a Tech Tuesday and I don't know what Fello is. Right? So I'm immediately Googling that shit because I need to know. And as soon as I started looking into it and learning about it, I was like, oh. And I was one of the ones that said, okay, don't start anything till here because I want to wait till I have a closing. And as soon as I got set up, I'm like, never mind, let's go. We're doing it. Send me the leads. And they did. As soon as we went live, like we just had hand raisers out of, it was just crazy. Me and Joanne were trying to like get some work done one weekend, and every message was like, new Fellow lead, new Fellow lead, new Fellow lead. I was like, holy hell, how are we gonna do this? So anyway, we're figuring it out. We got a good system, and we're going to get more of those closings. So anyway, that's all I had for today. We do have 5 minutes left to spare if anybody has any questions or wants to share anything. Oh, wait, one more thing. Because I'm turning 50 today, I decided to do a 50% off sale in my stand store. So 50 is the discount code. just case I wanted to make it simple for you. 50 is the discount code. So you can get 50% off one-on-one coaching with me, 50% off of the first month of VIP, which is literally $49 for how many Tuesdays do we have this month? 5 Tuesdays, 5 coaching sessions, you know, plus you get 50% off of that. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. And then 50% off all my Notion pages. So if you need buyer workflow, seller workflow, luxury workflow, how-to videos, Canva templates, like all of it's in there. 50% off your first month, use 50. And then the luxury Notion page, if you just want a one-off of luxury, it's in there, 50, saves you 50%. So anyway, Joanne will be putting all the links in the chat just in case you want to grab it. Isabel, you have a question?
Yeah, I just want to say happy birthday to you. First
Thank
of
you.
all, I wish you an abundance of blessings, and thank you for being so giving on these calls and everywhere you're at. And very, very grateful for everything that you do for us. And I'm definitely going to be going into your stand store and buying something in there too, right after this
Awesome.
meeting. Yes, I do have a question on your Monday through Friday accountability calls. If we can't make it to one session that we commit to, can we attend another
Absolutely.
time?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, the more about staying consistent on time is because for the leader, you know, when you ask, hey, did you get your things done? You know, you kind of know what people said and then know if they got it done. But literally it's just to help you stay accountable for what you want to accomplish. Everybody has 10 to 15 things on their list every day to do, right? You just need to say two things that are super important to you to get done that day, and then hop on the next day and stay. We also have Monday is overarching goals. So you can state your overarching goal for the week, you know, and then Wednesdays is Wednesday, right? So you're going to share wins, and Friday we go over how you did on your overarching goal. So it'll be great. I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to bring it to all of you guys. It's open to all agents, not just EXP. So please come and you will love it. And you will, trust me, you will realize how much you actually get done when you do that. And the best part of those calls are not only becoming accountable, but hearing what other people have on their list to do. Right. So when I first started them, I didn't run the calls. I was in the calls and I was like, oh, maybe that should be on my list. Maybe I should be doing that. That sounds good, you know? And then I've literally seen people super stressed out about posting videos on social media. And now they're super stressed out about all the escrows they have right now. You know, so watching people grow like that is just amazing. And you're going to be able to grow with a bunch of people, you know, at the same time. So awesome. All right, you guys, I got to hop into the VIP room where we are going to actually press the buttons. Thank you again, Gus and Lori. Appreciate you being on the call. All right, talk to you soon.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
Where's the VIP room again?
Who just said that?
That's Robin.
Robin, are you a VIP member?
Proud of it.
Yeah, how do we do that?
Okay, so you guys are VIP members.
Yeah.
You should have received a VIP link
Yeah.
to the Zoom room. If not, we will repost it in our VIP chat so that you have it right there.
Oh, super cool. Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Did it come by email, Wendy?
It should have flashed
Okay, I'll look.
as soon as you signed up.
Yeah.
If not, Joanne's going to be adding you to the VIP group and we're going to put it right in there. It's through Messenger. It's a Messenger group.
Got it.
All righty. See you guys in a little bit. Bye.